So I just got off the phone with an amazing entrepreneur who a few weeks ago had committed to working together with me to help develop some new strategies to grow her business. And in that time, in the last few weeks, I haven't heard from her. Um, didn't return phone calls, text messages, emails, or postcards. So of course, I assumed we would no longer be working together. In fact, even had she wanted to, I wouldn't have been able to do anything for her. I mean, honest communication is really the ground floor for me. If we don't have that, I can't serve you really in any way. I already knew deep down the real reason why she chose to stay the same and not really do anything new, and ultimately I knew the real reason why she chose not to move forward together. But my goal then became to get her to say it. Um, I guess I'm a response hacker. That's really deep down inside. That's what makes me tick. So my goal became just to get that from her, even though I already knew. I was sleeping just fine at night. And the real reason is really the best reason not to work with me. So it's a completely valid reason, and anyone who has this reason is totally right, and we should not work together. So before I give you the reason, let me first say that I'm a big believer in creating some level of protection between you and the people that you work with. In other words, as an entrepreneur or a business owner, it's really your responsibility to decide who gets into the business and who doesn't. I always say your business is like your house. You get to decide who comes in. Well, the problem is a lot of businesses have the door wide open. They let in anybody. The big problem with doing that is eventually if the business gets filled up with the wrong types of people, not only does that make you miserable, but eventually the people who should be in there don't want to be in there because it's filled with the wrong people. So whenever someone gives me this reason, they always do it as though they're doing me a favor. They tell me, hey, can I do you a favor and just be honest with you, Conrad? And then I say yes. But it's always under the banner of as if to say, if this weren't true, you would have gotten my business. When really the exact opposite is true, because I simply wouldn't have accepted their business under any other conditions. But eventually I got her to say, Conrad, after I committed to moving forward, you were just too pushy. She's right. I'm quite pushy. um, as a strategist, I can't make decisions for anyone. As a business owner or entrepreneur, the decisions are uniquely yours to make. Although I can always show you what your options are and help you understand the pros and cons of each decision and encourage you to make a decision, but I certainly can't decide for you. But once a decision is made, it is my job to make sure that it is implemented and executed. As a strategist, that is my job. And I take that very seriously. In fact, it's one of the only things in life I'm truly good at, dare I say. So her issue was I was just too pushy. And I already knew that that was the reason. I just wanted her to say it. It's a great reason not to do business with me. But the truth is, I do that 100% intentionally. You see, on paper, most business owners and entrepreneurs are willing to say, yes, Conrad, I am willing to communicate honestly. And I am okay with operating outside of my comfort zone. And I'm okay with making decisions. And yes, I am trusting, and yes, I'm willing to take some risks. But when push comes to shove, they don't. So I've intentionally front-loaded my own engagement process with honest communication, where I get them to provide me answers and answer questions that otherwise they'd be inclined to say, well, Conrad, that's none of your business. But it's my job to get them to give me certain information. And then from there, I front load that process with decision making and trusting. And I get them to take some risks. Because deep down inside, I know that if I can't do that, ultimately, our work together will not be successful. And nearly, give or take, two or three who I've had to sort of shed along the way, 100% of everyone that I've ever engaged in that particular process with has been successful. And the reason why I can say that today is because only the correct people ever get in. The people who I shouldn't be working with don't come in because they think I'm too pushy. So I reassured her that is a valid and correct reason why we are not a good fit to work together. And even though that's true, I sincerely hope for her all of the success that she deserves. But that is the number one best reason not to work with me. If you can't make it through those hoops, our work together just won't be successful.